So, hey internet, this is Andrew with That's the Drunk Watch. We are here to talk about the House of Bly Manor, episode 4, The Way It Came. We are the Knights of the Drunk Watch, and now talk begins. Episode 4 takes us to Dani's backstory, her childhood romance, which becomes her skirt for the closet.
Because I really felt like he was fully knowledgeable of his skirt.
No, I didn't. I didn't think that. I didn't think he was knowledgeable until she said it at the table. I think he knew she was afraid to get married so young, maybe, but I don't think that he knew she had other tendencies.
It was just, for me, it was the line, "Don't worry, once this is done, they'll leave us alone for a long time."
Yeah.
Like, once this is done, we don't have to deal with him anymore. Like, it felt like they were both getting something out of the marriage.
It was a mutually beneficial situation.
No, see, to answer that directly, that seemed to me like the families are all about the wedding.
Correct.
And the families are like, and it's like, once we have this whatever, was it a rehearsal dinner? Or no, actually no, because it was the engagement announcement, I think, because that's when she got the wedding dress. She wouldn't get the wedding dress the night before you get married.
True. Yeah.
So I think it must have been announcing their engagement, because I'm sure everyone was like, "When are you gonna get married?" Da 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 da. So I think that's what she was referring to.
At the dinner table, she never wanted to disappoint anybody, even from the very beginning. So even as they were kids, I think that line at the dinner was like, "I was always just trying to make everybody happy because this is what they expected of us, to be high school sweethearts and da 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 da." And then she got carried away. I mean, she was doing an honest thing by saying, "I don't want to do this at the dinner table." She could have said it 20 years after the marriage. Like, I commend her. That took a lot of bravery, I think, to the point.
The other thing I liked about this synopsis is it says that he discovers that she doesn't want to get married. It's like, no, she told him.
Tells him.
Straight up told him. Like, he didn't discover shit. She said, pull the brakes.
She is totally into the woman that's like fitting her dress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that she is into her. So that's immediately apparent. It's not like, even if you miss the end of the previous episode, seeing that interaction, you still know, like, you're not.
And I think
surprised by
the wedding dress interaction was the second one of the episode, because I think there was another interaction with Jane, which, since I missed the first one, there was an interaction with Jamie that I went, "Oh, are they going here?" And then there was the wedding dress, and I was like, "Yep, they're going there." So, and then she tries to come out to him, and he gets hit by a bus.
I clearly missed this wedding
delivery
dress.
truck.
So good that his ghost is like his last moment of life.
His literal last image.
The last image with the headlights in, like, that was very well done.
Except the rest of him should have been lit up too.
This is where I guess to me it was revealed it wasn't really a ghost. It's her grief that's following her. That's what it's like. Babadook. It's like, oh, okay, I see. It's not a real ghost. It's just in her mind.
Because she also doesn't see it until the moment she finds out he's dead.
Right.
Like, that happens, and then instantly she is confronted with this ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And so maybe that's all personal hauntings are just
I mean, it definitely harkens back to Haunting of Hill House, which is literally that. It's all your grief. That's the concept, is your grief or your guilt or whatever deep emotion you're feeling, longing, whatever, manifests itself. Like, what is the difference between a haunting and just you being eaten away by guilt?
Who is Viola Lloyd? We should pay attention to that name.
Oh yeah.
That was the rubbing that she was doing for Dani, the special rubbing she was supposed to be doing from the floor of the church.
That's right.
Watched a show even slightly critically, was like, all right, Viola Lloyd, gotta lock that down.
I mean, they literally like did a sketch of it and put it in your face
for us.
But they just did her name. Was there a number attached with it?
There were
There
the
was-
dates. It was her burial stone in the floor of the chapel, so it had
How old
dates
was
on it.
she?
Question is, are we going to
Very
break
hard to-
into that at some point?
All right, so Miles gets very all Peter Quint again about drinking some wine,
Mhm.
but then later seems to have no memory of the incident.
It definitely becomes more obvious in this one. Like they're just giving it to you. Like in this one, they're like, okay, you already figured it out. Here he is. This is what's happening. Not that hard to figure out.
Peter Quint wants a drink. Here's the thing: they're all around that bonfire. Hannah has got a bottle. Is that bottle have anything in it? And is she really drinking? I don't think she is.
You
I think
think
Well, I
she's
mean-
you
just
think they brought an empty bottle out there for her?
no.
like,
I mean, I
Here's
think
the one for the
they emptied a
teetotaler.
bottle.
It's an empty one.
Or I mean, I think she doesn't eat or drink. She's dead. I think she's just going through the motions.
Yeah, I mean, she could also just be and not act. You don't have to drink if you bring it up to your lips and pour.
I've done that.
It is
It was-
possible.
It was a very telling scene around the bonfire because everybody gave something except for Dani, who we got to see that story, what she was struggling
I know
with.
I feel like as an audience, we were like, you got one. You got one of these.
Yeah, yeah.
We're setting you up for it. No, and
You
that
got a
was-
guy who ruins all of your selfie photos
But-
because he's just there.
I feel like she has dementia.
She definitely
Yes, I
And-
want to. I want to build on that because I feel like that is something that's possibly making a correlation. However, with what Andrew was saying about is she drinking? Is she not? Is she whatever? Like, if she's a ghost, whatever. Okay, she's a ghost. She can't do anything. But if she's not doing certain things, maybe it's a part of her guilt and possibly that fourth candle that we can't quite figure out. Who knows? But at the same time, yeah, what Jacob just said.
There were two flags. Owen's mother just died out away from Bly Manor, and nobody went to the service except for
Jamie
Jamie.
went.
Okay, so again, that's a strike against Hannah. It's a strike against the kids. You know,
Dani.
in my book. But then I saw her drinking, and so I'm like, all right. So I'm on the fence here. But that was a huge why wouldn't she go? Like she seems to be very close with Owen. Like that was not.
They
that-
seem to be almost flirtatious.
someone mentioned dementia, and now I can't remember which one of y'all it
Jacob.
was. Jacob. But that's what Owen's mom was 67. She was fairly young and she
Yeah.
had early onset dementia. So we've already established that. I mean, obviously it's already established, but that's already part of the story. Dementia exists, guys. I don't know if you know. It's part of the story. And so
What?
that kind of tips us to what's going on with Hannah, why is she losing time? And also Hannah's response or care for Owen seems so much more because she can see that kind of reflection of she loses time and Owen's mom loses time, so out of time, people.
What if Owen is Hannah's husband? The husband came to visit them at the house and spent all this time with them at the house before leaving one final time, before we found out that they were ghosts. So what if Hannah and Owen were a husband and wife team? Hannah dies. She falls down the well. She's, she's a lot of interest in that well at the beginning. Owen still keeps coming to the house because he can visit her, but he still has to go take care of his mother. And so, because when Hannah said the last time I was at that church was when I got married, but we don't know what happened to her husband. What if this flirtation, what if this relationship that exists between Hannah and Owen is because Owen keeps coming back because he knows he's living with his wife's ghost?
And we're forgetting established ghost rules from TVs we've watched before. Murder House, that shit happened all the time. And
Take notes, Zach, right now. Go.
people showed up all the time to be like, oh, I'm visiting my ghost friend. They changed their ghosts and they could go find them there.
Dani's backstory is also related to another James short story, The Way It Came, which is the name of the episode. And we end the episode with seeing a ghostly lady wandering through the house that the children distract Dani from so she doesn't get caught by her.
Because if I just knew that the house was full of dead beings, I don't know if I'd be chill with that. Like, just like, oh yeah, no, Dani, look here, as an 8-year-old being like, Dani, right here, don't look behind you. Like,
Unless
making shit up to convince her to look this way. Like, that shit's nuts.
Unless they have some form of information that keeps them safe from these ghosts. Like, they know they are safe from these ghosts and from the lady in the lake if they do the certain amount of things that they have to do.
Exactly.
So it felt to me like they were setting her up to get caught, because Miles made a face at the very end that looked like kind of disappointed at Flora. And I was like, wait, were they trying to keep her in the hallway to get caught?
No, I really felt like they were
No.
trying to keep her from turning around and seeing the woman walking through the house.
Agreed.
I get Flora doing that, but I was kind of like, wait, who moved the doll to the wherever? Did the doll move itself? Or is Miles kind of like, I want you in this place?
I'm curious if Dani could actually see the ghosts, or if only the kids can see the ghosts. That's just a really thought.
That's a good point.
But the other thing is, they've always lived in this house, and as far as we know, these ghosts are older than they are. So if you grew up and there were always ghosts around you, you probably have some, unless they're literally attacking you the entire time, you'd probably have like some exposure to it, and it wouldn't really seem like a
Flora
threat to you.
Flora's just one.
The children have knowledge that the adults do not have. I still believe Miles is an evil SOB and he's trying to do bad things, whether because he's possessed by Quint or not. But Flora seems to be the counterbalance to the other thing.
I think Dani can see the ghosts because she saw Quint on the parapet, and she saw him in the window.
She is seeing ghosts, definitely.
Right, so I think she could probably see the lady in the lake. I think she could see all ghosts. So I think this is just a parallel to Owen's story in the last episode about his mom with dementia and dying, and how she was holding on to him, and now he has to let her go. And I think that was just a parallel. And he told that story to Dani, right? Well, I guess to everybody.
Yeah, he told the story to everybody.
But I think this is her just letting him go. Like, you're dead. I buried you. I loved you. And now you're gone. And now I can start a new thing.
Or I won't let you control me. He may not go anywhere, but she won't let him control. So we're the Knights of the Drunk Watch.
And
now our talk
talk
has ended.